Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the YouTube channel grecochess, the channel of chess. I'm your host, Karilas Aniziris, and in this video we continue with the puzzle rush of chess.com. We'll discuss one puzzle after the other until we get three of them wrong, and while we do them, I challenge you to pause the videos and try to see if you can find the solution with us. This is going to help you advance your chess skills, so when it's time to face challenges in the real games, you'll be able to find the correct solutions much faster and have much more wins. But let's first share the screen with you. Here we are. We'll try to break a record to 44. You see here it says top score 59, but this was long time ago when I'll be honest with you, what happened is that for some reason chess.com was showing me the same puzzles again and again and again. So it was not so hard to hit these 59, but 44 is the real record we had in a video that you saw with us a few videos ago. And let's start the game. I hit the play button. You see it's a survival mode, meaning time is no problem. We can discuss it in length without being constrained by time limits, but once we hit three puzzles wrong, it is going to be the end. And then we're going to see what did we do wrong. We've had between 28 and 44 in the previous puzzles, 44 being the best. Let's see if we can do better than that. Hit the play button. And here we are, puzzle number one. That is, once again, pause the video if you want, try to find the answer, but it's an easy one, mate in one. The second one, similar story, mate in one, background issues for black. Next one here. Here there's no background, but here there is a pin, you see, queen, king, same diagonal. All we have to do is put the bishop in the same diagonal. And we got it wrong. Was there anything better than that? Now let's hope we don't get another wrong. We never had a wrong so early. Rook goes to b8 mate. Once again, mate in one move. We'll see later what did we do wrong. Again, mate in two moves this time. But really, if there was no mate, the answer we gave in the previous would have been a good one, I believe. Now again, once mate in f2, mate in g2, mate in one move, all of them. And maybe there was a mate in puzzle number 3 that somehow we missed. Yes, if the knight went to f6, we'll see it here, we'll see it later, but unfortunately we missed it. Queen to f7 mate. Here, be careful. If queen goes to b5, at the very minimum, we win the rook at a8. Yes. Rook to h7 mate. Queen to d7 mate. In the first 12, we got 11 correct. We never had one wrong so early, but we were, let's say, tricked because there was an easy way to win the queen due to a pin, and we disregarded the mate. Now let's see what's happening here. This is mate in two moves. Knight goes to f4 check, and rook goes to h5. Mate in two moves. Here, queen is going to go to d4 check and mate next move. Here it's going to be a way to win the black queen. I hope we don't miss a mate in one this time. Look at that. First of all, the pawn on e3 cannot take the queen on d4 because of the pin of rook on e8. But if bishop on d3 goes to h7, the check, and now we win the queen. The first puzzle that the answer was not a mate. Here what's happening. We're going to win the queen, I believe. Our queen will go to e6 check, and king can go to f8, h8, h7, and then rook goes wherever needed, check, and then we win the black queen on b3, yes. Here we need to be careful. There are two ways to check, either queen to b2 or rook to b6. What happens in this case? If rook to b6, queen has to go to the a file. But if rook goes to if queen goes to b2, rook to b3, and I don't see any follow-up. So I think we start with the rook. Okay, that's all. If queen goes to d7 check, king to f5, and then what else? If rook goes f7, again king goes to d5, and then anything else? If queen goes to e7, king goes to f5, rook goes to g5 check, pawn takes rook, and then I don't see anything. Queen seems more promising because the rook is much nearer, but there's a so what? Okay, not just exchange, we are down a rook. Let's think about it carefully. Seems queen is more promising, but I cannot see the follow-up. Yes, at least the first move we got it right, but what is the follow-up? If queen goes to d7 check, king goes nowhere. I think so. Yes, that's it. We got it. Next one. Rook would like to go to f1 and very near a mate, but then queen goes to h7 and things go bad. Black has much extra material, at least an exchange plus 3 pawns. So if black exchanges everything, we're doing quite well. But yes, is this the answer or is a mate when we least expect it? Let's start exchanging queens. Yes, we exchange the queens. Good, that's it. So we just go to an ending that is very superior. Here, if queen goes to g2, it's mate, I hope. Supported by the pawn on h3, there's no check. I think that's it. Yes. Queen goes to a3 check, and then king has many squares to go, but material-wise, we're not that better. But black takes a rook. We'll be slightly ahead, but queen goes to a3 check. If we took the rook, then the bishop on t3 will also take a rook. What's happening here? Ah, yes, here we are. We'll win the bishop. I hope this is the answer. Queen goes to h6 check, and now we win the bishop. Yes, that's it. We got a bishop. Not easy to find it. Here, let's see. If pawn goes to g5, is it a mate? I don't see what black can. They can go to c7. But then the pawn will go to f6, and the rook goes to a8. We got it. Oh, we have to reply to the check. How many legal moves do we have? King goes to h7, or rook goes to g7, or queen goes to g7, or knight takes on g6. Knight goes to g6, queen goes to g6. Anything better than that? If king goes to h8, how is the material? We have one extra knight, yes. Minus 2 pawns. Let's see what else can we do. Let's start with a knight going here. Yes. Now, how many legal moves? Either rook or queen goes to g7 or king to h8. If they go to g7, we lose material clearly. So king to h8. Yes, we got it. Here, let's see. If it was one of the earliest, queen goes to e8, rook takes, but there's no mate. King goes to f7, rook goes to e8 check, and nothing else. If queen goes to e6 check, yes, king goes to h8, and now we really have back rank. Now rook will take rook and it's mate. Out of the 24, we only had one wrong, the third one that we were tricked, because there was an easy way to win the queen if we forgot that we had a mate in one move. Queen goes to b6 check. And how can black reply? Bishop goes to e3 and then we win the bishop and then it's mate. Looks like. No, first we get a knight and now we take the bishop and now it's mate. We can win the bishop on b8 if we check from f4. There is an Stewart. Nope, that's not it. Second wrong. And we're only 24. We better do better. Queen to d8 check and we threaten the bishop on d5. Let's see. No, we have a check to reply. Let's. What happens if we change? Can we win the bishop next move? I think so. If queen goes to e6. Yes, fortunately it was a check, so although we guessed the wrong move, it didn't count. If queen takes on g8 check, what can black do? I think nothing. Yes. This is from the very beginning of the game. What can we do? Queen goes to h5 check, and then we take on e5. Anything else? I don't see anything else. Now we want the rook on h8, one of the early traps. If queen goes to h check, king to g7, bishop to h6 check. Bishop goes to h6, we prepare for the mate, but black has too many replies. Another check. Queen to e8 check. King to g7. Knight can go quite a lot of squares, but black has too many ways to avoid. If we don't check now, they can send rook to e8 or many other things. So we have to start like that, I think. Yes. Now here's how do we do the second move. If queen check from f8, king takes queen, bishop to h6 check, and where no matter where king goes, rook goes to b8. That would be a mate if it was not for the queen here. If rook goes to b8, that seems more promising. Yes, and we win the queen. At least we got the minimum of 28. We got so scared when we had this wrong. If queen goes to f8 check, knight goes to g8. If rook takes f6, the prepare mate, but black has too many replies. Here we are. We'll take the knight. We'll take the knight and then the rook will checkmate. From f3 to f8. Good. Queen will take on g6 and there's a pin on f7 because of the bishop on c4, so this is very promising. I think after that, yes. Here, how is material going? Have the same, but there's a way to win the bishop on h6, so long as we exchange on f1. Yes, we exchange again, and now we win the bishop, and we have an extra knight. Good. Yeah, this is very tricky because what legal move does white have? They can put their knight on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares. We take the rook first of all, otherwise really we have the promotion, nothing else. And now we win the queen, and I think that's it. Not that's it, because we have to be careful. We don't want to lose a bishop on d6, so king can go either e5 or e7. Any difference? If it goes, there is a difference. If it goes to uh, e5, then the rook can check from e6 because supported by the bishop on e2. That's why king needs to go to e7. And now we have to be careful. We don't want to discover check, so king goes to d7. We got it right. Here where this is, it seems promising knight to g6 and cannot be taken because it's pinned, but if king goes to g8, no follow-up. Here the rook will go to h7 check, and then the other rook goes to h1. That's captured, yes. Now the bishop might go here, yes, to h2, but we grab the bishop mate. Now what would happen if bishop went to f3? There's mate next move. How can black stop it? I can't see how. Bishop goes to e4, no. Any check from white? Well, the bishop from d3 can go to gx6, but I don't see any follow-up to that. Yes, we got it right. If queen goes to h8, it's mate in 1. Let's give a look. I think so. Yes. And in the first 36, we got 34 correct. 2 wrong. Now we have the 35th correct. Here, if rook goes to f7, king goes to c8, queen goes to e6 check. Other move, if queen goes to b5 check, can queen go to f5 check? Yes, but what's a follow-up? A queen goes to b5 and wins a bishop, but you're still a piece down. I don't think that this is the answer. I think rook goes to f7 because this might have follow-up. Nope, we got wrong. We got 35 correct and 3 wrong. No record this time. At least we didn't do the worst possible. But we got, let's see. Let's see the third, and I know the answer. I saw it a little bit too late. If not, the solution is queen takes queen. That was the solution. Because you get it for free. There was no mate here. Oh, you got it completely wrong. What we did before is we placed a bishop here, but we would win the queen for a piece. That is why this is better. Queen for free. No, what do you mean? Did we click the correct one? Let's give a look. It's going to be the same. Let's give a look. In this one here, okay, that's it. This is the move before because it seems that the knight could go to f6 with a mate. And yes, I know what's happened. Yes. Solution, yes. Queen takes knight and now queen takes queen. This is the answer to number 3 that we got wrong so early. Let's see the next one, the number 26 it should be. We thought that if the bishop went to f4, there was a stew and we win the bishop on b8. What else is there? Yes. A bishop takes on c5 check, king takes c5, and then knight goes to d7, win the bishop on b8. It's a little bit better because here we have 2 versus 1 pieces, otherwise we have 1 versus 0. It's much bigger advantage. Yes, bishop takes knight, knight goes to d7 check, and now win the bishop, yes. This is better. I think the other would also win, and I think also in the other one, and let's see the last one that we got wrong. What did we do wrong here? If pawn goes to c5, then we threaten the knight. Would that be the answer? And then pawn goes, let's see. Queen goes from here, yes. Queen goes to f5. So that's it for now. We got at least 35 correct, neither the best nor the worst. We should not have missed the easy one of the third row. And in the meantime, I have some exciting news to share with you about the tournaments, about the 2026 tournament, the biggest tournament of the year. I'm going to show you what's happening. The 2026 Chess.com Daily Chess Championship. Round number 1. You see in this tournament, we had 55,394 players participating, the biggest ever. And in every in every round, players would be divided into groups of 12, and only the top one would advance. But in the first round, we tied with Amr Ahmed 2812 from Egypt, and this means that both of us make it the second round. There's going to be a total of 5 rounds because 1 out of 12, okay, this was an exception because we tied, but usually 1 out of 12 in advance. Let's see if we can do even better in the second round. In fact, this round, you see in this group number 2687, both of us beat everybody else and we tied with each other. But you'll see that some players withdrew, some people lost a lot of time. So too many people registered, but they lost interest. But that is good news for us. Continue the second round. We'll keep you informed about this tournament. The tournaments, nothing changed. If you go to grecochess, for example, 2 games remain. Let's see when are they going to finish so we can present these 2 games and see who will emerge as the champion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is grecochess. I'm your host, Karilas Aneziris. We continue with the chess.com bots if nothing changes. We are dealing with the 1400 bots. We eliminated 1 of the 3, 2 more to go. But for now, goodbye.